Hello and welcome in a string of videos that we are doing on IPL teams and what should be their ideal retention policy. Today is the turn of the Lucknow Super Giants, a team that had a rather disappointing season last time around. Remember, before that they made it to the playoffs both times, but the last season without their talismanic coach in Gautam Gambhir, with a new coach in Justin Langer, did not quite live up to the expectations that the fans had with them. On paper were looking like a good team, but eventual results did not show. One man who came under a lot of criticism was the captain in KL Rahul. Whether he'll be that one player who will be retained or not, that's what Harshit and I are going to be discussing. So you know the rules. At best you can keep 6 players either by using right to match or by retentions. You know the breakup, 18, 14, 11, 18, 14. So let's start with the first name. And before I put the first name, my question to Harshit is that the elephant in the room. Are you retaining your captain in KL Rahul?
So to the KL Rahul fans watching us right now, I'd say turn away. They may not like what I'm about to say. I'm keeping in mind the visuals that panned out. I'm also keeping in mind the lunch that we saw happen in Kolkata not too long back. I'm also keeping in mind the reputation that KL Rahul has when it comes to the shortest format of the game. So mindful of all those three things, I feel KL Rahul is definitely going to be up for consideration. But does he get the nod at 18 crores, as we've seen with most captains, get the first preference? I don't think that is happening. But when I say he'll be up for consideration in that boardroom, I think they're going to be using the RTM for him. I think that will be the communication, not a direct retention. They will go for him.
RTM, you will have to have a price in mind. Huh? What do you want?
Yes. I don't think the valuation that LSG will have in mind for him will be 18 crores. They have a couple of other players. By the way, I was looking at their squad. Doesn't quite look like the team that has a couple of players who are willing to splash no matter what amount of money you would want to. They aren't that franchise with that set of players. KL Rahul also part of that franchise. And for what he has to offer, 18 crores, I think is a steep ask. I'll say the RTM.
Okay, so he's obviously not the first name that you're thinking. He's definitely not the first name that I'm thinking. 18 crore, I'm also not paying for a KL Rahul. But I'm going to pay 18 crore for one player and his name is Nicky P. So, Puran.
That's right.
I am definitely paying 18 CR for him. He is, according to me, the best T20 batter that there is in the world right now. Apologies to Suryakumar Yadav and so on and so forth, but the best T20 batter that there is, grossly underutilized by Lucknow Super Giants, batting the way or batting in the position that he was, an absolute game changer of a player. And if I'm Lucknow Super Giants, I'm paying 18 crore for him. Are you paying?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Without doubt.
Even though I feel, again, the slabs have changed this year, but maybe a lesser valuation is also an okay price for a Puran. But because of what I have, I'm willing to pay.
If I'm a different franchise, I'm still paying 18 for him.
I'm fine. I'm fine paying 18 crores for him.
Even if I look at a right to match, I think he'll go for more. So avoid all that.
Yeah.
Just go Nicholas Puran at 18 CR. Okay. Do you have another name in mind that you want to retain?
Absolutely.
At a price of 14 CR?
There is one. Okay. There is one. How much game time I'm able to extract out of him, I don't know. But he's a bowler that is celebrated in Indian cricket right now. Pace has always excited Indian fans. There comes a bowler last season, bowls 156.7, shatters records.
I'm talking about 14 CR.
Yeah, I'm paying that kind of money for a Mayank Yadav.
But why do you have to pay 14 CR for him when he can be retained at 4 CR?
The only thing is, I would like to believe that he is, for all practical purposes, making his debut. I know right now, at the point of us recording this video, because there's only 3 seamers in that squad. There's a Harshit Rana, there's him, and there's one more. I feel he will be making his debut. I think this is something that they will also be considering as well.
No, do you have another player here? Because, I mean, we have to look at where the player is at the moment. He's not made a debut for India. He's an uncapped player. So he's at 4 CR. I want to know, do you have a player in mind for 14 CR?
No.
Do you have a player in mind for 14 CR? There is a Quinton de Kock. There is a KL Rahul that you can think of. There is a Ravi Bishnoi that you can think of. There is Krunal Pandya, Naveenul Haq. There are those names that come to my mind. Any one of those players that you are going to be spending that kind of money?
But a lot. There is a Mark Wood again. Expressways. There is Mark Wood as well.
But he was withdrawn, so I don't know whether he's still
Yeah.
going to be part. But anyone
So,
for 14 CR?
Nobody.
No KL Rahul.
Unfortunately.
No Quinton de Kock.
I'm saving RTMs maybe for a couple of those names that I have in mind. There are a few RTMs I can think of.
Ravi Bishnoi?
Not at that price point. Not at 14.
So you're
CR.
sending Ravi Bishnoi?
I'm sending
You're
Ravi
using
Bishnoi.
RTM for him?
I'm using RTM for
Okay,
him.
so let's put the ones that we are retaining right now. And you said a Mayank, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got a Mayank. But we're keeping him at 4 because as things stand right now, he's an uncapped player. And you would want a Mayank at 4. For those of you who are wondering that would Mayank be okay with 4, you have to have both parties understanding. But as I have told you before, there are other ways of ensuring that that payment is made.
And
he could be
also-
made brand ambassador on any of their product at 10 CR per year, in which case he may still get 14 CR legally, of course.
Yeah.
But 4 gets deducted from their purse. That is going to be
He
most.
could also, if he provided plays all 14 games, get another crore for as match fees.
No, but that everyone is getting.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting into that, but I'm saying you have to make him available for his auction price. No, he may have a thought process that okay, I don't want 4 CR if I'm in uncapped. I go into auction, I may get 14, but he could still be paid 14 for that auction by using various different legal means.
Yeah.
Again, not casting aspersions at anyone. Legal means you can do that. Okay, so at 4 CR, you've got a few other uncapped players. You've got an Ayush Badoni who's uncapped.
Yes.
You could keep him for 4th because you're
I'm-
allowed.
I'm fine.
two
I think
uncapped players.
keeping him at 4 CR, I think I'm fine doing that. This was also somebody you're talking about.
What about Mohsin Khan? You can keep him for 4 CR too. He was injured last time. Previously, he had a great season, had a decent season in the last season. So 2 seasons ago was injured.
I'm a
For
little-
4 CR, it's not a bad option actually.
I'm a little iffy because I saw whatever that I saw from him last season was very limited, and he clearly wasn't at the peak of his powers as he impressed us a couple
Correct,
of seasons
but 4
back.
CR?
4 CR is a harmless price, I believe. Can be considered.
If I am LSG, I am paying 4 CR for a Mohsin, Indian fast bowler,
Left
English
armour.
weight, left armour, 4 CR. That's going to be roughly the price that he could go for also. So without any headache, I would keep him. There's Ayush Badoni as well.
I think I'll take both because 8 crores.
No, but you are only left with one slot, Mayank.
But this, I can tend to forget that Mayank is.
See, if Mayank plays a game for India, he goes as a capped player, then you can look at him at 14, which we both have agreed that probably.
You're
he'll
also
play
paying 14 regardless.
Yeah, but right now he's still uncapped.
Officially, unofficially, either
So
way.
he's fun. So if he doesn't play, then he comes into my uncapped, right?
Yes.
So I now only have one spot for uncapped. Between Mohsin and Ayush, who are you going?
I'm going Mohsin then.
Okay, Mohsin. So you go with Mohsin. I would also go with Mohsin. At 4 CR, you could retain him too. Now you have options since we've not gone for any retentions
Yeah.
at that price.
We can only name
have
RTMs.
RTMs, you've got KL Rahul in your RTM.
I have KL Rahul in
Not
my
a bad
RTM.
option. I
Yeah.
think they may look at KL Rahul as RTM. They can
Are we adding a slash captain as well?
Oh, nobody knows. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Ayush Badoni for an RTM.
Ayush Vadoni.
Right, you could if you get him.
But you know what? There are other names that come to my mind
Okay.
as far as
You can do an
judicious use of RTM is concerned. There is a Ravi Bishnoi as well.
Of 100%, he's my RTM.
There's a Bishnoi. There's a QDK too. Remember, he's only playing the shortest format now, franchise
Okay.
cricket. So yes. And ahead of Bishnoi, I think I'd like to use an RTM for a Quinton de Kock. Again, he knows.
Ahead of Bishnoi?
Yes.
No, I'm not going ahead of Bishnoi. For a
Bishnoi, remember, struggled as far as his place is concerned. He was one of those who was tossed around in that batting lineup. Didn't have a.
batting lineup, Bishnoi. You're talking about Badoni.
Badoni. I'm talking about
You're
Badoni.
saying Bishnoi.
Badoni.
So you're saying between Ayush and
QDK, I would rather use my RTM for QDK than Badoni.
It's an option you can look at, but I would still go with a Badoni because again, Indian batter, young, will continue. I'm looking at the future. So It's a tough one, but I'll go with Badoni RTM. I'll get him much cheaper as well. So I don't know. Okay, we'll try and break that argument because our producer happens to be a Lucknow Super Giants fan. You're going RTM at 4 crore for Badoni or 10 crore for Quinton?
No, but then RTM could not be 4 crores.
Rough estimate, Baba. That is what their price will be. No, rough estimate.
Okay.
It's very tricky, but I'm going with
Badoni.
Badoni out of QDK.
Okay, so he's going with Ayush Badoni as well. So this is it. You could even think of Quinton de Kock. I think this could be the 6 options that they can look at, provided, remember, Mayank still remains uncapped. Otherwise, we're still retaining him at 14, in which case then you will have a slight change in terms of the budget that will be left for you, right? Then you can get another, you know what that will do? If you retain Mayank at 14, then it will allow you to have Mohsin and Ayush Badoni as your uncaps. And then you can have RTM for Bishnoi, KL Rahul and QDK.
No, but then 6 only, na? You can only go with 6, so you can't add a 7th name then.
No, so you cannot add
a 7th name.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So they are in a bit of a tricky, but guess what? You know, we've gone through a few teams. As far as spending your money miserly is concerned, I don't know if they wanted it, but I think they're the most miser spenders for all the teams that we've looked at.
Yeah, but I think this is what they can do. Let's do a rough estimate of how much the money is as of now.
26, I believe.
I think this is about, 26. But you've got to give a rough estimate, let's say 10.
KL Rahul 10?
Yeah, just saying. 36, 4, 40.
Yeah.
6.
Could go up to 8 as well.
8, 48.
Yeah.
So rough estimate, they would be roughly, again, auction is very dynamic, it can change, but let's say 48 CR is roughly what they would be spending for roughly about their 6 players. So that leaves
put an
us
asterisk
with
there because these are
72,
approximations.
about 72 odd crores left with us. 72 divided by 12 would be
6 crores.
6. So that's about 6 crore on an average I can spend on each player, which means it will allow me to buy about 3, 4, 10, 11 crore bracket players. I can go for some big guys. And of course there'll be a few 50 lakh, 1 crore players also. That
they'll have the license to walk into the Gucci's and the Pradas and get all the big bags.
Yeah, they can. I think they'll be pretty sorted if they spend this much. It all changes if Mayank then becomes a cap player, because we still think they'll spend that much. In which case, just add a 10 more crore, they go to 58. That will change a lot. That will change.
10 crores is a lot of money.
And that may decide Quinton de Kock's future, because in this scenario they can bid for him. If otherwise they may not want to bid for him and may want to bid for a few other players. So this is a rough idea that we think LSG might do well if they were to go with this sort of a broad strategy. Remember, even when team are strategizing, they can't be 100% sure, because when you go into the auction, you don't know how much you'll have to pay for a right to match card. So then that's dynamic. Do let us know what you think would be the best idea. Any players that you would add or players that you would remove from this list, we'd love to know from you. Give us a like if you're enjoying our content. That will help us make some more videos. And don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today. From Harshit and I, bye-bye.